right here on the Muskegon channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley. If I look pained or if I look as if I'm downtrodden, maybe I'm tired. I just don't know.
You sound like you're allergic to something
I
right
got a
now.
little stuffy nose going on this morning.
Hmm.
I'm kind of sore from here down to about the tips of my toes. Um, it was one of those weekends where it's like, oh, let's get the tractor lawn cutter thinger out there and
Oh,
put that on
okay.
the tractor, which you're supposed to just be able to drive onto, and it just hooks up
Yeah.
and magically you drive off,
Hmm.
which turns into bullshit every year.
You had to
Uh,
lift shit, didn't you?
oh, don't like that. Um, and then um, the neighbor guy across the street came up with a brilliant idea when he was talking to my wife out in the middle of the road, that she should get some dolomite and throw it in front of the old garage where we keep the
Hmm.
tractor. Well, let me tell you, are you familiar with what dolomite is?
No, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that, and I could
Okay,
pretend
well,
like I knew exactly what it was, but I
it's
have no
like
idea.
it's like crushed powdery white rock,
Okay.
and let me tell you how remarkably inconvenient dolomite is when you're trying to drive up onto a tractor deck,
Hmm.
with a pretty heavy tractor and a pretty heavy tractor deck. And the idea is that gravity is a part of hooking up this mower deck. Um, it tends to push down on the mower deck when you drive up on the mower deck,
Hmm.
and then the hooks can't quite reach the mower deck. So here I am trying to make the minimal amount of required movements to get the mower deck on as
Of
it
course.
continues to sink into the
Hmm.
dolomite
Hmm.
again and 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 again. And I don't want to say it was a swearing marathon. I don't want to say that it was. I don't want to say anything got thrown. I don't want to say anything got, you know, shoved where it shouldn't have been.
Hmm.
Um, but I will say that I ended up right in the middle of the road, because the dolomite wasn't working. Um, and finally, after about 15, 20 attempts, we got the mower deck on.
Oh man.
So upon taking care of the mower deck, I'm out driving the thing around. I'm cutting the grass. I'm trophy husband.
Uh huh.
That's what I'm doing. And I'm looking down at this mower deck and I'm thinking to myself, it looked a lot more impressive last year, when the tractor was new.
Yeah.
Um, Now I'm sitting here suffering with the idea that I may have to go out and buy a bigger mower deck, just because um, my impression of this tiny thing is no longer as magnificent as it was once. I've just got problems.
Well,
I've
what can you
really
get for you? What can you get for that as a trade in?
That's a good question. I don't know if a trade in on a mower deck is a thing, but I may be calling Greenmark after
Yeah.
we get done today just to find out.
Okay. All right. You're talking about, swearing and everything else. I immediately had flashbacks to my dad putting a lawnmower blade on our push mower,
Oh yeah.
and on his hat's like he's underneath it. He's wearing his hat that's slightly askew, and he's
Yep.
just swearing up, "You goddamn son of a bitch." And I was put back to like 1982, listening to my dad
Kind of where I found
just a
myself.
barrage of profanity.
Kind of
Yeah.
where I was. I'm sitting there
Yep.
thinking, "Wow, you've turned into your dad."
There you go.
Yep. And so yeah, um, got that done. Cut some grass. Um, Everything hurts, and I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm
Productive
literally.
weekend though.
Oh
It's a good kind of hurt though. It's a good kind of sore. Look at it that way.
no,
You always get that puzzled look when I say it's a good kind of sore because you
it's not
did
a good kind
something
of
that
sore.
earned it. It wasn't like
Sore is
you were
sore.
just
I
no.
no.
It's not like you were sitting on your ass and then your legs are atrophying and you like get up and you like, oh, my legs hurt because I was sitting here for all day.
Atrophy.
No, atrophying. I said atrophying.
Well,
Atrophying. I could have said atrophying, but that's going to sound weird. So I said atrophying.
everything you say sounds weird. So
All right.
anyway, but
Anywho,
I'm I oh I don't want
so
to
that's
move.
good.
I don't want to move.
You
Oh
know what? You know to help that out. Ice cold shower.
oh
Boom.
okay.
There you
I'll get
go.
right on that after we
Jump
get done
on
today.
that because you're all inflamed and shit.
That's what
So
I am.
that reduces inflammation. That and a couple aspirin, you'll be fine.
Speaking of flamers, let's have the news.
There you go.
See
All
what I
right.
did there?
That was that. Wow, that's highbrow. That's highbrow old school radio right there. All right. Police departments across the U.S. are seeing an influx of new officers. More officers were sworn in 2023 than any time in the last 4 years. Many of those increases occurred in smaller to mid-sized cities and towns. Larger departments are still over 5% below desired levels, and that's really where you need. I mean, you need more cops in Detroit. You need, although from what I was hearing out of the NFL draft, everybody who went said it looked great. City was great. No issues as far as violence or anything.
Good.
So that's a positive. But you got like your Chicago's, your Frisco's, your LA's, your New York's that probably could use a few extra PDs.
I'm all for the cops, and I really think that it's been a remarkably hard thing for them to recruit over the last few years because of the way certain cops have molded that job. You get a couple of bad apples in there,
and the way that was, exactly, and the way it's covered.
Yeah, and the way it's covered. I mean, because it's covered hard. And you know what? They're a public official, and they should be under a little more scrutiny.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Dude, you pick the job, you know how you're going to be watched, and that's why you have a body camera on you, and that's why, I mean, it's just what it is.
Right.
To see that starting to turn a little bit to people that are going to say, all right, I'll do this job. That's a good thing. And hopefully
100%.
it turns into police. Do you think policing could adapt?
I think you need to adapt to the people who have firearms. I think we as citizens need to adapt and understand that. You got guys and people talk, I've heard this, I had a cop friend of mine pulled me over in 1995.
Yep.
And he was just messing with me. But I started motioning around looking for my ID and everything. And he told me, you don't want to. It's the first time I was given the talk.
Yep.
You don't want to do that because we don't know what we're running into when we pull anybody over.
Yep.
So you keep your hand in. Ever since then, I've always made sure I keep my hands on the wheel, give him the height, let him know, because when you pull somebody over, you just don't know.
No, you don't.
I think in the way, again, I go back to the way these things are covered, because anytime, specifically if it's a white cop, a black suspect, or a black victim in the case of a shooting, every single story is racist cop, racist cop, racist cop. And that doesn't mean there aren't. There are racist cops, just like there are racist janitors and racist, you name the profession. That said, the fact that it's always painted as that before you know what any of the facts are. And I put a lot of this on, goes back to the death of journalism. You don't get out the facts. You rush to get the story out because you're going to get eyeballs on this if you paint it this way right now.
Yeah.
Wait and see how it comes out. Again, cops do have to be held accountable when they cross the line, but also you need to hold the media accountable when they jump the gun, so to speak, on a lot of this stuff, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help the victims, and it doesn't help the police, and it doesn't help society in general.
I wonder if something like a HIPAA law, if that were to be placed, because HIPAA law protects your privacy around medical stuff. I wonder if there was some kind of law placed in around being arrested that would cover privacy to a degree. And here's one of,
I see what you're saying.
And I'm kind of riffing, right? I'm just kind of coming up with an idea. In a medical situation, if something goes wrong, a hospital cannot defend itself because of HIPAA laws.
Right.
Could that somehow be turned into the justice system where the media really can't cover it fully because we don't know everything from one end of it because of privacy? Yeah. I don't know.
That's an interesting thought. I don't know how
that would flesh out. I don't
hmm
know how you would work into that, and that's a that's the kind of puzzle for people a
hmm
lot smarter than me.
That's a good thought. That's an
But
I don't
you
know how to
know
work.
when something goes wrong in a hospital, the hospital often has to stand there and they can't say anything
hmm
because of HIPAA laws.
Right.
Um, I wonder if there's an angle that we could maybe cool things off.
hmm
But then you've just got the police who I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we're both on the same page on this. I don't know how that would work. I think it's a good thought to have. I
Yeah.
just think certain industries just need to be a little bit more responsible again
Yeah.
with how these things are covered instead of jumping
Yes, they do.
out in front, getting out in front of the story before you have all the facts, before you have all the information,
Yep.
and just speculating and say, "Well, this is just part and parcel. This is just the way it is." There's an epidemic of this, and it's not.
Right.
It's not. Once you read studies and you go into the studies of this stuff,
Oh,
it's not what you think it is.
violent crime is down over the
Violent
last.
crimes gone, but not just that, but uh, you are more. The Washington Post came out with this like I don't know back 2017. You're more likely in a conflict with cops if you're armed to be shot if you're white.
Hmm,
You actually are,
hmm.
which
I know this.
most people don't
I know this
like
with
read
police.
into that or think.
Cindy and I both have CCW permits,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? You think you have to sit there with your hands on the wheel?
No,
If I get pulled over, my window goes down, and I yell out the window, "Hey, dude,
yeah.
we've got CCW permits, and we
Mm-hmm.
either have or do not have guns in the car." And that's just the way it goes, you know.
And to the other side, you do want to weed out the bad cops,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Whatever it
Yeah.
is, whether abuse, because cops, you're gonna have people abusing their power.
Dude.
That is 100% gonna
Yeah.
happen. And you got to keep a tight leash on that, and you've got to have accountability all across the board.
Yep.
100%.
Perfect.
There you go. What else is going on? Mick and the Prostate Posse, better known as the Rolling Stones, kicked off their latest tour in the Lone Star State Sunday night in Houston. Mick Jagger and lead guitarist Keith Richards, both 80 years old.
Wow.
Youngster guitarist, still wet behind the ears, Ronnie Wood, 76. The tour is being sponsored in part, and this isn't a joke, by the AARP.
Wow.
So there you go.
We got
I love seeing those guys out. I'm not a huge. I like the Stones.
Yep.
I always liked them more than the Beatles. I understood Beatles came first.
Yep.
I think the Stones are a better band. They rock harder. Obviously, longevity.
I'll tell you something.
Nobody knows how Keith Richards is still alive,
I'm gonna,
but it's phenomenal to watch these guys still out there doing it. I love it.
the Beatles would have been nobody had they not had development from a record company. They would have
Mhm.
gone nowhere. They were the first boy band that was shaped
Yep.
by somebody completely outside of them.
Mhm.
Not a bad band at all. Don't get
No,
me wrong.
great.
And that you said that they're sponsored by AARP.
hmm
The AARP magazine came in the other day here,
hmm
and Brooke Shields is on the cover. And my first thought was, this is like Tiger Beat for old farts.
Oh, it is. Now it is, isn't it?
I'm like, where's Tatum O'Neal? Get her on the
exactly.
cover too.
Exactly. She's
Where's
got
Leif Garrett?
Yeah.
We need Scott Baio on here too because
Yeah.
he's dreamy.
They're all everybody. Oh God. Oh, jeez. It's weird being old now.
Oh,
It is weird. It's not bad. It's not what I thought it would be. Like I thought I would feel older than I feel. I really did. I thought when I hit 50, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna feel this. And I mean,
still
you
feel
get
like
little
I'm
pains
15.
here and there.
yeah.
Yeah, the mindset is still what it was, and we're still juveniles, 5 decades plus in. Anyway, Muskegon Public Schools, they are unveiling the district's first new school building in over 6 decades. The newly constructed Charles Hackley Middle School will welcome 6th through 8th graders this coming fall. The construction is part of a $35 million project. So
Let me tell you something.
brand spanking new middle school. There you go.
Had you been following the Muskegon channel, you would have seen it 2 weeks ago, but you don't. So there you go.
There.
I was the first look. I was the one that was in the doors first. We took you on a tour. It is stellar. It is
Mm.
it is beyond amazing, and I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, to the crowd who's pissed off that the hospital's gone, please, please let it go. I, I'd
You're
be
not going to
dead.
please everybody. You
Look
just
at,
aren't.
I'd be dead without Hackley Hospital 4 times over. I totally get it,
Hmm.
but it is really time to take a good hard look at what's happened here. An old asbestos-filled hospital came down.
Hmm.
The owner of the hospital not only gave the building, the land, the cleanup, and everything to the city to make a school. They took care. They foot the bill for everything,
Mm.
right down to getting the last brick off the property. The last breath of that hospital was the first breath of the next 100 years for this entire community and its kids.
Yeah.
How can that not be seen as anything other than the most perfect exit of something that took care of this community forever and left a legacy to continue to take care of it for the next 100 years? How can it be seen any other way?
Because the new pastime is becoming a bunch of whiny ass little suck tits. That's what
Dude,
we are
it,
collectively, and
I
it
get
doesn't.
it.
You're
I
right.
so
100%.
get it. That your brother was born there, and that somebody that you love
Yep.
died there, and
Right.
everything else. But
This is a good thing.
this is amazing. No,
Yeah.
this is the first school built in 60 freaking
Mhm.
years.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
that is.
That's beyond good.
Yeah.
Hear me now. Open your eyes and take a look at what's happened here, because that's big, big, big
Yeah.
good right there.
Absolutely. Look
It's
at us.
exhausting. It's
Dude,
exhausting.
this is weird.
To continue to try and swim up the stream against things like that.
I don't even know what to do with myself. You and I are agreeing like on everything today. It's amazing.
Let's hug.
It's an up with people Monday. Sports. Tigers beat Kansas City 4-1.
Yep.
16-12.
That's right.
Solid start. Will they ever? I don't know that they'll drop below. I'm thinking they will stay above 500 all year. That's what I'm feeling.
I'm thinking
right
championship season.
That's
what I'm thinking.
Gotta crawl before you walk.
Okay.
There you go. Cautious optimism, but optimism nonetheless.
There you have it.
Cubs lose. They fall to Boston 5-4. That's sports.
Actor moguls is the $200 category today in Jeopardy. Oh, this is Colton's
so they
last
have to
week.
be an actor. They have to be an actor and a mogul. They can't just be an actor. They can't just be a mogul.
Apparently not.
Okay.
Will Ferrell co-created this website where people could vote whether video clips were humorous or not.
That would be Funny or Die.
Look at you. 57,100 in the hole.
I didn't even know Will Ferrell was considered a mogul now, but apparently
He's a mogul.
you create a website.
He's a mogul. He is what they would call a one of the forefathers of comedy at this point. He's hysterical. He's funny.
Yes, absolutely.
He will give you a rib tickler here and there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a cool perm hair. He looks an awful lot like the drummer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All kinds of things that are positives about Will Ferrell.
100%.
Have yourself a fantastic Monday, and we'll do it again. What are you shaking your head about?
We just agreed on everything. It felt like we were brother-in-lawing. It was still good though.
Let's hug.
No, that's not happening.
Come on. Give me a hug.
No.
Bring it in here. Give me a little hug. Come on. No. Give me a hug.
Nope. See ya!
Happy Monday, Muskegon. Showers will move through during the morning hours, so let's take a look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Your weather headlines do show we will have rain moving through during the morning, like I said. By the early afternoon, that's when the rain should start to end across West Michigan, and that will be because of a cold front moving through, but thankfully we'll still stay warm for the rest of the week, with temperatures mostly in the 60s and even 70s by Thursday, and then more rain is likely around the Friday time frame. But the future rainfall does show that around 8 a.m., rain will be likely across West Michigan, especially closer to Lake Michigan. And then by the mid to late morning hours, rain will continue, maybe even with a rumble of thunder, but we're not expecting any severe weather, thankfully. And by the early afternoon hours, that rain should be pushing well off to the east. So for your Monday, expect a high around 67 degrees. and then winds will slowly shift to more westerly during the afternoon thanks to that cold front, with rain showers especially during the morning, but will stay cloudy for the rest of the day. And then going overnight, we'll start to clear out a little bit with a low of 47. But thankfully, Tuesday is looking completely sunny with a lot of blue sky, with temperatures in the 60s, thankfully, and we'll be in the 70s by Wednesday, upper 70s by Thursday, with more rain showers around the Friday time frame, like I said, and then only a little bit cooler after that, but still staying in the 60s as we approach May. And that's your Monday forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon channel. And I'm Cole Woods Weather, and have a great week.